Okay, you know what? No, it's just not happening. Okay. And I'm out of water. What is this? What am I starting with? Okay. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anne. If you don't know me, it's great to meet you. Today we're doing a little first impressions of a bunch of stuff that I got from Ulta, and I'm really excited about it. I have a couple new foundations and some cream blushes, a bronzer, a lot of face products. I was gonna have a concealer, but I bought the wrong shade entirely. Like, I don't know how this happened, but anyway, we're just gonna jump in. The first product that I have to try actually is this Australian Gold Botanical Tinted Sunscreen, and it has SPF 50. And this is the BB cream, so it's a BB cream, I guess, for fair to light skin tones. Lightweight matte finish, antioxidant rich, and vegan, and it's dermatologist tested. Water resistant up to 80 minutes. Sun protection is a good thing, so I'm not trying to get any skin damage. It does have this little foil thing on it, which is nice. It is a pretty big bottle. I think this was about 15-ish maybe or more dollars, but not terrible. Oh, okay. So that's what it looks like. It looks kind of dark, to be honest, so hopefully this isn't like, oh wow, okay. I'm just gonna like try and rub this in quickly. Some sunscreens like dry really fast, and I'm not trying to, you know, have that whole issue happen. It does feel very like silky. It feels silky, wow. I wouldn't say I'm noticing like a whole ton of like tint on my face. I'm trying to like actually put on like a layer though, that way it like does something. Because if you don't put on like enough sunscreen, then it's like, why'd you even put it on at all? Not trying to like get it in my brows. My face is pretty moisturized from this morning, but it's not like my moisturizer has sunk in, you know, so it's not really like affecting any of the products, I don't think. Because overall, this feels like it's going on very smoothly. Like, I was reading, some people said that it dried really quickly, so you had to work quickly. But I'm not having any sort of issue with like it sticking to anything, so that's good. I do think like it kind of evened out my skin tone a little bit, like just a little. It is like, it's a really, really thin formula, so like if you were to use this as a BB cream, I feel like you'd need a lot of it in order for it to do anything. But it does kind of look like my skin is just a little bit more evened out, I would say, especially like on my forehead. Almost like I put on like a nice like smoothing primer. Not upset about this at all so far. This is actually quite shocking. Yeah, I don't notice that much of a like skin tone difference, so I don't really think it did that much to like affect the actual color of my skin. I just found out that Catrice has a BB cream, which I thought was super cool and interesting, because I'm kind of trying to kind of find more light coverage things for summertime once that rolls around, because I don't know, I just feel like light coverage is how I'm kind of rolling these days. And then I also have the Colourpop Pretty Fresh foundation, which I've heard nothing but good things about. I kind of want to try the Pretty Fresh foundation today, just because I want to try color correcting with my concealer, which means I'll be wearing more concealer than I normally would, because I bought this LA Girl Pro Conceal, but I bought like a peach color, and I want to see if it can kind of work on my under eyes a little bit better, so we'll see. It does sound pretty liquidy in here. I am so all over the place, you guys, I'm sorry. I actually also bought a primer. This is the NYX Bear With Me Hydrating Jelly Primer, and I'm going to be using this as well. And I've been hearing that it is similar to the Milk Hydro Grip Primer, which I've never tried, but I've wanted to, so I'm curious if this is anything similar to what I think that is. I've heard the Milk Hydro Grip is like a very sticky, kind of like makes your makeup stick to it kind of thing. So this is what it looks like. It's just clear, but it is kind of like moving around just a little bit in there. It doesn't smell, it kind of smells like chemicals. Really weird. So like when you touch it, it like, what? Okay, this is, okay, you literally can like pick it up like it's Jello. Okay, I'm kind of, ooh, it smells like nail polish. It smells like nail polish remover. I'm kind of scared. I hope this doesn't like burn my skin. And I think I also probably applied too much, but also I guess I'm curious to see how this is gonna sit on top of, hopefully this sits well on top of the sunscreen too. Okay, I definitely grabbed a little too much, I think, because, well, I don't know, I thought it was gonna be like a lot more absorbent, but I guess it is a primer, so like it would probably, I guess primers still absorb though. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm like, I'm really trying to like test the waters here and see how it's feeling. I'm kind of like waiting for it to like dry or something, because right now it feels very like kind of like not tacky, just kind of wet. Okay, interesting. And then once I like actually scooped it out, it became completely flat again. Forms back into its old self like a little creepy slime monster. Okay, I guess I kind of see what people are saying. Like you can kind of tell like my skin is like getting a little sticky, which I kind of was wanting because that's what I've heard the Hydro Grip Primer does, is it almost kind of feels like you're adhering your makeup to your face. I'm gonna stop touching my face and go on to use the foundation. This is in the shade Fair at 25 Warm. I was a little lost on like what shade to get, so I kind of went off of another YouTuber's skin that seems close-ish to mine, and this seems like it'll work. I don't know that it'll be like really close, but I'm really actually quite curious to see how my skin, I feel like I'm applying a lot. I'm quite curious to see how my skin is going to look with, because I did a lot of different moisturizing today, and then, you know, I did the BB cream and then the primer, so I'm kind of interested to see if my skin will just in general look better. So I'm gonna try my sponge here, because I feel like my sponge is probably the thing that I would reach for the most. I have all this foundation on the back of my hand and I just put my hand on my pants. This is a hot mess of a video so far. Not, I think it's really getting in my hair. Jeez. Hello. So it's not as dewy as I thought it was gonna be, especially with the primer. I thought the primer was gonna make everything super dewy as well. But in all reality, it looks kind of like, kind of matte, to be honest. In my opinion, I think it looks pretty matte. But okay, so I'm gonna try the other side with a brush. I'm using the Jaclyn Hill and Morphe brush, the JH03, and I'm just going to kind of, yeah, I don't know that I'm liking how it's applying with a brush. Maybe it's like, you know, some people might think that's too soon to say, but I feel like I know kind of like what I look for and prefer when I'm applying my foundation. And I feel like it's just looking a little, I don't know, it's looking a little streaky. You can kind of tell though that the BB cream did give me like a little bit of color, especially around my hairline, like right here, it looks a little darker. I don't know if it's gonna show up at all, but gonna try adding just a little more and see if it'll look better with the brush. I don't know. It's not that it looks bad in my opinion, I just can't really decide how I feel about it. When I'm touching this side, not that much is like coming off on my fingers, but there's more when I touch this side. So I don't know, maybe it just needs a second to absorb, but I think I'm just gonna bounce over it with my sponge. This isn't really like a whole review. I mean, you're obviously getting my first impressions, but I'm not gonna be doing like a wear test or anything in this video, so I'm kind of just trying to give you guys as much of my thoughts as I can while we're sitting here. So, okay, so I'm gonna add just a little bit more foundation to the right side of my face just to kind of even out and make sure the coverage is kind of even, because I do feel like it could be a little more coverage on this side just based on how it looks on this side. So I don't even know what sponge this is. I think it's Real Techniques, but I genuinely don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it's kind of sitting, especially like up in here. It's like kind of sitting on this area a little funny, and like I do get foundation sometimes sitting in there a little strange. So I don't know, but I do have texture there, so it's just kind of like, is it the foundation or, yeah, I don't know. And like for some reason I can't get it to like, there's like a little line where my eyebrow is, and like I'm not trying to mess up my eyebrow, but also there's like a clear line where it's like not covered. Okay, I'm kind of like playing dodgeball with the sun, so I apologize if there's, you know, for this. Also my neck got weirdly red, but anyway. So I'm gonna try using a color correcting concealer today, and hopefully this doesn't throw off my whole day because I've never done this before. I really want to try like the Charlotte Tilbury color corrector or the Becca one, but quite frankly those are expensive. So I thought I would just try doing my own little cheapy one with this one, and then just a concealer that I use all the time anyway. And I have tried this concealer formula and it's not bad, so I feel like a little more confident, but I guess we'll see. Because I'm also not trying to like darken this area too much, but I feel like this looks dark. And then I'm using the Covergirl Trublend concealer on top. I don't know, I'm kind of putting all of my faith in a review that said that they used the peach concealer to conceal dark circles, so I'm holding out hope that it does similarly for me. Do I look beautiful? I feel like it might have worked a little bit, but I can't really tell. I feel like there's still definitely like darkness, but it doesn't look terrible. I will say that my skin still feels tacky, so if that's something you're concerned about, then maybe this foundation is not for you. I am gonna probably set my foundation to some extent. I just don't know how I want to do things. But I'm also curious if it is like the primer that's making my makeup feel a little more tacky or not. Like it's really hard to say right now because it's all just first impressions. So I feel like the more I play around with it, the more I'll see how I feel. But I don't hate the foundation actually. It does look actually pretty nice. Not that I was like wanting to hate it, but I'm gonna use this Anastasia Beverly Hills powder in vanilla. My under eyes do look a tiny bit cakey, but I think it's because of how much I did of both concealers. I didn't mean to do that much of the peach concealer, but I do think it's making me look a little cakey, so there's that. Creasing like right after I tapped it out, which normally doesn't happen. I'm gonna set my chin and around my smile lines, but I'm not gonna set my cheek area just yet, I don't think, because, well, I don't know exactly how I'm supposed to go about this. So I have these two new cream blushes, and then I have a powder bronzer and a powder highlight. So I don't know how I'm supposed to do this. I'm gonna, I guess, do bronzer first because that's what I would normally do. I'm gonna use the Colourpop pressed powder bronzer. Packaging is so cute, little coconuts. And I have the shade Talk to the Palm. And I don't think I've ever tried a Colourpop bronzer before, or any, I've tried like a Colourpop blush stick and like their highlight, their Super Shock cheek formulas I really like, but I've never tried like a powdered bronzer. Oh yes. Okay, so it looks pretty nice. It looks a little cool tone maybe, which could be nice. Hopefully it doesn't make me look like gray or too tan, because I feel like this foundation does look a little tiny bit dark for me. Maybe if I went outside this would be like my normal color. But anyway, I'm gonna use this Real Techniques blush brush, and I'm just gonna kind of like pat it on because my cheeks are still so tacky that I don't want to disrupt the foundation. It's kind of looking like a pretty nice bronzer shade. I feel like it's not quite, I feel like it's looking like a really weird shadow on camera, but it doesn't quite look that way in person, so I don't know what's up with that, but like it looks like there's like this massive area right here that's not blended. Looks like my whole face isn't blended, but I swear it is. Oh hey, my eyelashes are on my chair. First impressions are kind of difficult because I feel like there's always products that I'm gonna be wanting, that I'm like thinking about, and I'm like, well, if I tried it with this thing or with this way or with a different product, then like I might feel differently about it. But like when you're trying so many new products all at once, you don't really know like what's being gimmicky and what's just like reacting because of the product underneath, you know? Okay, and then I have these two cream blushes because for some reason I was just on a cream blush kick. I have the blush balm from Flower Beauty in the shade Pinched. I think it's in the shade Pinched. I don't know what shade. Oh yeah, Pinched. It says it right there. And then I have the Milani Cheek Kiss cream blush in the shade Coral Crush. And I don't know what I want to use today. Okay, I think I'm gonna use the Milani cream blush. It just looks like the color will look a little bit nicer on my skin today. It's this swatch right here. So I'm gonna take this little stipple brush from e.l.f. I think, or maybe I'll just take my finger first and like do a little pat pat. I feel like this is like saving my face because I was just feeling like not sure, even though it doesn't even look bad, so I don't know. I'm just having one of those days where I feel like nothing is like working out for me, even though in reality things are like fine. Okay, I really like that. It's very like nice and like lightly flushed, because like, you know, you see something like this in the pan and you're like, oh no way. But once you like actually blend it onto the skin, that's the beauty of cream blushes, is they just like emulsify themselves onto your face. And this is like blending out very nicely just with my finger, because like I was gonna use this stipple brush, which I'm sure would be fine too. But it's kind of nice to actually like, I don't know, touch it and like use your finger. Use the tools God gave us. I love that. It's so pretty. It gives like such a nice like flushed look, and especially if you're somebody who wears like less makeup. Some days I don't even wear foundation and I feel like I'm gonna like absolutely love this. I can't wait to try this one too. This one swatched really pretty as well. It's this one right here. So it's just a teensy bit more muted, but I think it's gonna look really, really pretty on like a more light coverage day. I'm really looking forward to trying this BB cream with this stuff as well. Because I thought that the foundation was gonna be lighter coverage, and I guess that's kind of also on me because I did like 2 pumps of it, but it does look really like a nice foundation though overall. Like as it's sinking into my skin, I'm kind of liking it more. So, I mean, that's good. I am gonna go ahead and set kind of like this area of my face with a little bit of powder, just because, I don't know, like I put my hand on my jaw all the time and I don't want it to like start taking off my makeup. I mean, I guess it still could, but I don't like having that like tacky feeling when I'm sitting like this, you know? I guess I'm just gonna do my eyes and lips off camera super quick because I don't have anything new to show you guys there. And I will be back and we will be trying a new highlight. So, be right back. Wow, I feel like when I get my eye makeup done, I just feel like a totally different person. Here I am. Real quick, just what I used the Colourpop at Forest Sight Colourpop and Raw Beauty Kristi palette at Forest Sight. And I just used this shade Puffball all over my lid and in my crease and on my waterline. Just one eyeshadow, one and done, easy peasy. And then I did my wing with, where did I go? As I suspected, I did mention this in the video where I used this. I have my full thoughts on this eyeliner, but I used the DSM eyeliner that I got on Amazon to do my wing. Still loving this, still use it pretty much daily. And then I used, these are the Eylure Marquise lashes. Love these. And I used the Duo brush on adhesive with vitamins, my favorite lash glue. And I think that's it. Hang on, I gotta put something on my lips here. I'm gonna use the Colourpop and Raw Beauty Kristi Lux Gloss in Wildflower. And I really like this gloss. It's very comfortable. It's really comfortable. I need to get like a lip scrub though, because my lips are just like flaking so bad this time of year. Even though they're not really like dry, but anyway. So for highlight, I'm super excited about this. This is the Catrice Cosmetics Sungasm. Like, do people not realize that like children buy makeup products sometimes? Like, why do they have to call it that? Anyway, it is the Sungasm Face and Body Highlight from Catrice Cosmetics. It is massive. This thing cost about $10, so it's super cheap for how much product you get. I bought this based on, I think this ended up in 2 people's yearly favorites reviews of products that they liked. I think it was in Teresa is Dead and one other YouTuber that I don't really recall. Maybe, I don't know. I saw somebody else use this in their video, but I don't remember who. So, Ellie Gines or Glines, and I think she mentioned this in her video as being something that she really liked. So I'm not trying to like, I'm not trying to overdo it, but I do like me a nice little bit of highlight, you know what I mean? Oh, there we go. I feel like it's finally like kind of showing up now. I had to kind of load it onto my brush a little bit because I was worried that it was going to be like super kick-up-y, but it's not. It's not actually like that powdered, which is kind of nice because some powdered highlights are just like, you know, like the dust just kind of like goes everywhere and all of that, but this is quite nice. This is a really nice color too. It's not like super pale gold, which is kind of nice because like, I don't know. I mean, a lot of times I do like a really nice pale gold highlight, but this kind of has like a little bit of like those peachy tones in it too. Which kind of, I feel like makes it look like just a little bit more natural and like, even though you can still obviously see it and build it up, I think that it makes it almost more of a natural color, if that makes sense. I really like it. Like some highlights, you know, you can clearly tell that they're like really light, so they'll leave like a line on your face, or they'll be too dark and they will also leave a line on your face, and that's way more unpleasant. But I'm gonna like bounce over it a little bit just to like kind of melt it into my skin a little bit. But overall, I'd say that that's quite lovely. Quite lovely. I'm gonna set my face actually with the Ofra Makeup Fixer. The bottle's so gross because there's so much in this product, in this bottle, that like it takes me forever to go through, so then the bottle gets gross. But this is the Ofra Makeup Fixer setting spray. The sprayer on this is quite strong, but the product itself I really like, so I just kind of put up with it, and then I kind of just bounce over really lightly any areas that may have gotten a little bit too splattered. Okay, so I guess that's it then. I really like how my makeup turned out actually in the end. And give you guys like my final thoughts on everything. So the first thing, the botanical sunscreen from Australian Gold. I do think I like it actually. I wasn't too sure about it, but I do think that it's pretty nice. As far as like how a sunscreen normally feels, I really like this in comparison. Like, it didn't feel greasy after or anything like that, so that's really nice. I do think it kind of evened out my skin tone, and I'm not really noticing the like discoloration around my hairline anymore, so that's good. I don't know if it just like had to absorb or something. This NYX primer, I'm not sure about, honestly. I'm gonna have to play around with it a little bit more, as with everything, but the smell of it is a little off-putting. It smells really chemically, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but I do kind of like how it made my skin feel like tacky. So yeah, gonna have to mess around with this a little bit more. For the price, I think this was like close to $20, which is pretty expensive in my opinion for drugstore, but I feel like NYX has kind of like gotten up there in pricing over the years, you know? I'm trying to decide if it's like worth $20 or not though. But yeah, further thoughts on this will probably come down the road. The Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Foundation. I do like how my skin looks right now, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it looks very nice and clean. With first impressions, I feel like it's best for me to kind of just, with any product really, I kind of just use things and I do my routine as I normally would with any other day. I feel like that's the best way to really test a product. So I mean, yes, I did use a new primer with it, but overall I didn't really do anything much different as far as like my routine goes and like trying things out. So overall though, I think my skin looks pretty freaking nice. Like, I'm not upset about it at all. Again, it does still feel like a little tacky in some areas that I didn't set, so I would keep that in mind. Like, you may want to set this, but also I'm still not sure if it's the primer that's making me feel that way. It's really hard to say. But overall, for like the finish and everything and like the value and stuff like that, based off of first impressions, again, I've only been wearing this for like an hour now, it looks good. I like it. And the shade match wasn't terrible, so that's always good. The LA Girl Pro Conceal in Peach. Again, it's a formula that I'm familiar with. It's just that the color is something that I was messing around with. So I feel like my under eyes do look just a teensy bit like creasy, crepey, not crepey. Like, they don't feel uncomfortable, but I do feel like it kind of may have made that concealer settle into my lines just a little bit more, because I don't experience that with that concealer as much, but I am curious to still try this technique out with other concealers. So it's more about the technique and the color correcting, not so much the concealer, but it could have been also the formula that makes my eyes look creasy. It's hard to say. But yeah, so there's that. The Colourpop bronzer in Talk to the Palm. I actually really like it. I thought at first that I didn't like it. I thought that it was looking really shadowy and weird right here, but I feel like that kind of happens with a lot of my foundations because I have like old acne scars that are still there, and I feel like it kind of makes my bronzer just look a little darker. So my neighbors are vacuuming. Cool. But overall though, I do think it's a pretty nice color. I do definitely want to use it more, and I will be using it more. Off first impressions just now though, I think it's nice. I like it. This Milani blush I like quite a lot actually. I do think that it kind of already faded just a teensy bit, but also it could be because I put the highlighter on top. But I do think it's really, really pretty. So I will definitely be looking forward to using this some more. And then last but not least, you guys literally just saw my thoughts on this. The Sungasm bronzer from, the Sungasm bronzer from, Sungasm, it's not a bronzer. The Sungasm highlight from Catrice. I don't know, I think this might only come in one shade, but I do really like it. I love the formulation. It's not like chunky or glittery, but you still can get a very like nice popping highlight without it being like a streak on your face, which I can kind of tend to experience. So yeah, I really like this, really impressed with this, and I'm also super happy with how huge it is for like $10. Super great deal. This will last me a lifetime. So yeah, overall I think this was a great first impressions. I can't wait to use more of these products down the road in future videos. Stay tuned. I'm probably going to be doing a little video on this, or else I'll just be mentioning it in a future video. And same for the blush balm from Flower Beauty. So keep an eye out for those, and I guess that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please give it a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe. And I will see you guys all in my next video. Bye!